It's been almost a whole year, filled with heart-wrenching stories of family-owned businesses shutting their doors because they were hurt by this pandemic.
Our Patrick Hayes has a closer look at the pandemic's effect on some local companies and why some places weren't able to make it.
We were doing okay before COVID hit, and then when we got shut down, it just never really came back.
There are hundreds of stories to tell, businesses closing their doors, some temporarily, others forever.
You have to look at it and say, well, how far down can we go before we cannot bring ourselves back out of the well? And that's the decision we had to make.
Since March, restaurants have been operating under strict public health orders. Most of the time, they were limited to curbside or to go. More recently, some of those restrictions have been lifted, but only in counties that meet certain criteria. The governor's office has said the restrictions are necessary to prevent the spread of COVID-19, but some say it was too much.
Well, of course, this was only going to be a 14-day lockdown in order to chill the virus.
Carol Wight is the CEO of the New Mexico Restaurant Association.
Unfortunately, New Mexico was the most locked down state in the nation, and so it certainly feels like it's going to be difficult climbing out of this.
According to White, more than 200 restaurants have shut down permanently, and they weren't the only ones hurting. Albuquerque Business First editor-in-chief Rachel Sams tells us finding out how many businesses had to shut their doors could take years.
The early data has shown that a lot of businesses that might have early on expected they would need to close found ways to get through. Maybe it was getting a Paycheck Protection Program loan or some of the other assistance available that just helped keep them moving forward long enough to figure out how to keep the doors open a little bit longer. But I think it will probably take years to figure out all that we've lost.
You know, the promises of help from the different government levels were comical. I mean, the PPP loan was an 8-week stopgap.
Matt Simons opened Broken Trail Brewery in 2015, but closed the business last November because of the pandemic.
I think for a business owner, one of the most difficult things was this kind of internal struggle that we all want to be safe. We all want to keep people healthy. But yet I still have bills to pay. I still have insurance. I have rent. I have employees. By the time we closed down our location at Manal, Louisiana, I had 3 employees left. And we cried together because this was my family. They still are my family.
While help is on the way with lawmakers approving grants and waiving fees, Simon says he won't open a business again in New Mexico. But for those that do remain open, experts say they're optimistic.
Business leaders are encouraged to see how many people are getting the vaccine, how that appears to be helping to bring down the number of COVID cases, which is leading to more businesses being able to reopen in certain counties.
Federal government's coming out with money, the state government is helping out, and I do think all of those things are going to help get the industry back. But the biggest thing that's going to help is being open again.
Patrick Hayes, KOB4.